Well, these are the flags of Texas. This one was designed and flown in Gonzales when the Mexican government decided they no one no citizen Mexican citizen owning a cannon. And of course, these people did exactly that, got a cannon. And this was in Gonzales. Now this is Lynchburg, where I am right now, or really close to it. And that was the very first flag flown in these lands, or Mexican lands. They wanted to succeed from the Union. As a matter of fact, they did not want to succeed from the Union. They wanted to succeed or to get away from the state of Cohiba, I think it's pronounced. I never can pronounce it. Basically, the Mexico is not Mexico. It's the United States of Mexico. So they wanted to be an independent state of Mexico. They did not want to join the United States. They just wanted to be their own independent country. So now this flag, I have no idea where this flag come from. I never knew about this flag, but it says right here, after the Battle of San Jacinto, this flag was returned to Mr. Sidney Sherman with the following: "This stand of color is the same which triumphant waved on the memorable field of San Jacinto, and it is by the government presented to the lady of Colonel Cindy Sherman, a Somerville, signed, Secretary of War. Approved, David G. Burnett." The Sherman flag hangs today in the Texas Capitol building in Austin. I never know about that flag, but this flag I do know. This flag was the volunteers from New Orleans. They all got slaughtered, and today he's in Mexico. And to this day, we're trying to get it back to the United States or to Texas, but they do not going to let it go. So they capture the flag, and let me read here. Let me see. The 121 member volunteer of New Orleans, Gray, did not survive the fight for Texas independence. 19 of the men died with famine and Goliath. The rest were lost defending the Alamo. The captured flag was recently found in 2005 in Mexico National Historic Museum by a reporter from Dallas Morning News. Many efforts have been made by the Texans and the United States government to bring the flag home, but until now, those efforts have fallen. So actually, this flag was flying over the church in Los Alamos. And of course, we already know this one. This one is the independent standard. That was the very first one. And this is the one adopted in 1939. Let me read. Let me see. The flag of the Republic was adopted by the Republic of Texas Congress on January 25th, 1839. It was proposed by Senator William H. Wharton and replaced David G. Burnett flag in use since 1836. It replaced all other flags being flown over the Republic at the time, including the naval standard. And this flag, I have no idea. I don't remember this flag. Let's see. Sarah Dawson, wife of a Texas lieutenant, pierced together this flag just prior to the Battle of Gonzales, a spare calico. The Dawson flag was flown over 1836 convention at Washington on the Brazos. A subversive flag, its meaning was clear to both Texans and Mexicans. Mexican government. The colors match those of the French Revolution, but also that of the United States. Historians believe the Dawson flag was the first to fly over the San Antonio after the siege of Bexar on December 11, 1835. And this is the Texan flag, or Lone Star and the Stripes. That one, I never knew they were flown this flag over Mexican territories, but I guess so. Let me read. The Texan flag, Lone Star flag, Stripe flag, it was the unofficial flag of the Texas fight for independence. It was obviously an American flag, altered to a bit. There are several historic accounts of this flag flying over the major battles for Texan independence, including the Alamo and San Jacinto, and it became the official standard of the Texas Navy. I don't know about this. I think somebody's fooling me because we know as a fact that this flag was flying over El Alamo, and all these people died with it. So I don't know. I'm not a historian, but I can tell you that I do look at data and what they means and how they try to fool people. And I'm going to give you an example of it. Let me see. Right here. Troops led by Texan General Sam Houston win Texas independence by defeating Santa Anna, the Mexican army, in a bloody 18-minute battle along the banks of San Jacinto River. Well, the river basically ends right there. So they were fighting all over the place. So if you see way up there on the end, you see the monument behind the house. So must be out here somewhere. Anyway, let me go back and show you what I'm talking about when they actually mess the data up for some reason to show something different. It's like a sublime thing they do. And let me walk out there before I run out of battery. And I'm going to explain how they do it. Basically, well, I'm going to give an example. Mr. David Governor Burnett. Burn the net. Governor. It means governor. Gobernador. Or governor. So they removed the name and they put a G instead. They never pronounce his name, just G. David G. Burnett. So they subliminally subtract his name and put a G in it. I'm going to show you. Right here on the entrance of the park, he has a big seal. And the seal say, David Governor. That actually means governor. Burnett, the person who burns fishing nets, served as the first president of the Republic of Texas. He was appointed by member of the Washington on the Brazos Convention on May 16, 1836, just days after Texas declared his independence from Mexico. Born in New Jersey on April 4, 1788. Well, yes, he did born in New Jersey, but let's take a look at this. 1788. When New Jersey entered the Union? Well, New Jersey entered the Union in 1787, a year prior. And as a matter of fact, the April is only, let me see, it was I think it was December 1787. So from December to April, that is about what 4 or 5 months, right? I'm not quite sure on the timing, but it's just became the United States. So that means the Mr. David Governor Burnett was not a U.S. citizen. It was not. His parents were not from the United States, were from someplace else, Europeans. So now that is how they do it. They change the meaning of sense. David Governor Burnett. Now they say David G. Burnett, right? So that they take the French out of it. The French part, they take it out of it. So it's probably French descendant. Now, Burnett served during the 1806-1808 expedition to liberate Venezuela. So that tells me automatically that he was involved with the Americas, with the S, independence. Like Simon Bolivar and all these people, Seguin, all these people were contemporaries. They're all friends. They all have an organized thought, and that tells me automatically that he knew how to speak Castilian or Spanish. Because if you live in Texas at a time and you running around the Caribbean and South America, you must have tremendous control of the Spanish language. So now, he was captured by the Spaniards, I'm sure, and then he operated a mercantile exchange in Natchitoches, Louisiana, but he was struck with what was described as tuberculosis. On a doctor's advice, he sold his shop and traveled into the wild Texas. So he came here from Venezuela. That's probably how he made his contact. So now, let me see. He came to Texas. He literally fell off his horse in delirium and was rescued by a group of Comanches. Burnett lived with the Indians from 17 to 19. Now, if you live with a native or the First Nations, the first thing you automatically know is this: the Comanches spoke Spanish. So that is probably how they communicate, because the Indians, they are no Indians, they First Nations, they're from here, and they were living under the Spanish for the previous 400 years. They got the horses and tobacco and all that. So that tells me that this fellow was not a bigot. This fellow was a true American. He was the one born and raised around. So now he comes around and he rejoined the white society. You rejoin the white society. That is an attempt to convince you or give him a different identity from a person who lives in the Americas to white. So now they assign him an identity. That assignment is tremendous power, has tremendous power, because now his whole offspring family, now they have an identity. They are no longer Tejanos. They are no longer Americans from Venezuela, or they're no longer European French. Now they are white. So now they have to defend that assignment of identity. So now, for example, I guarantee you that I go to any of his offspring today and I ask them which identity Mr. Davy Governor Burnett possessed, or which race he belonged to, and I can assure the first thing they're going to say, he was white. And that is completely erroneous. So now they have to defend it. And now he says right here that he traveled with his brother Jacob home to Cincinnati, Ohio, to study law. Afterward, he returned to Texas in 1826 and became a lawyer in Stephen F. Austin colony. Burnett settled here near Lynchburg Ferry. And the ferry is actually, I just traveled on the ferry. It's behind those trees. I think everybody should come here to this place. It's beautiful. And he was married to Hannah He served in Texas in many capacities as judge, statesman, and president. He died in Galveston on December 5th of 1870, and it is buried here in Lakeview Cemetery. The cemetery is nearby. It's right there by the battlefield. And something else that I want to mention is the Mr. Galveston. Galveston, the city of Galveston, is named after a contemporary, Bernardo Conde de Galvez. So all these people in their life were everything but white. That white rejoined the white society. That is a creation to take his identity, his true identity, born in England, New Jersey, basically, on the transition, on a war zone, on at a time where no one have any control of their lives, and that is probably one of the reasons that he actually came to Texas, or they've been sick to tuberculosis. So they changing their identity to white, and that is the problem that we have today. Is that we are creating assigning identity to people. And then we have the what we call the media that is actually information technologies to defend it. So if you call yourself white, I am white. I am Hispanic. I am whatever. And then now you have to defend it. And if it's someone defend it for you, oh, it's very comfortable. You become that. And who knows how you're going to decondition yourself, unless you're a scholar, or unless we have a commitment to bring back our true identity. We are Americans from pole to pole, and that should be our goal. Americans from pole to pole. No English, no Spanish, no French, no anybody but ourselves. So I have no idea how can we accomplish that, because even our governors, example, Steve King from Iowa. I am a white nationalist. Well, what is that? It sounds created. So he might not believe it, he might not feel it, but people outside that ring do. Angela Merkel, King Philip VI, the Queen of England. All these Europeans know exactly what we are. We are colonials today to them. We are just colonials to them. Sudacos and this and the other. You know, they know how we are completely avoiding who we are, and they help us along because it's convenient to them. Well, I hope this video you enjoy it, and the reason I did it is to show that these people, they were no enemies of each other. They fought with each other and for each other and for a cost. The United States of Americas, the entire Americas.